You are now tuned in to the Gifted Gab.
Alright, we rolling?
We've been rolling. We've been waiting for you to
Alright, man, we here,
man.
bro. We here. We good.
You know what I'm saying? It's wintertime. I get it. Chapstick is necessary.
It's essential, bro. Chapstick, lotion. The essentials, man. What else?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, It's been a cold winter. Black Futures Month.
Black Futures Month.
You know what I'm saying? We're here.
Here,
We could have made this a Black History special,
Yeah.
but Black History Month is every day for us. So we don't
As it
need
should
to.
be. As it should be. This is a month about putting the spotlight on us, though. You know, giving respect where it's deserved. And I think a lot of times with Black History Month, the thing that I hate is like, a lot of times the media tends to focus on the negative aspects of Black History Month. Like they'll show us in movies where we're traumatized, we're slaves. Like it's always a lot of negative things.
Black trauma.
It's easy to capitalize on, right? But I think this month's a little different. It feels different.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing the spotlight on more positive things, you know. So
I'm just tired of hearing about MLK, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. I'm tired.
I'm tired here.
Tired. It's every year.
It's okay. Yeah.
For 28 years, I've been hearing about the same 3 black people.
How many quotes are we gonna see?
I'm tired. There's other characters. There's other people that have done some great things, you know. And why I always look in hindsight. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about how many great, like, black, you know, activists, entrepreneurs, inventors, you know, like, that are right now, that are doing extraordinary shit. But we don't give them enough
Credit.
Yeah, credit. And you lose, like, right now in the moment, you know? So that's why I'm kind of like, especially at the collective, we be doing Black history all the time, you know?
And I see what you guys are doing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Shout out to everyone involved with that, bro.
I appreciate it, but, like, that's why I'm like, okay, for February, it's like, let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Black Futures Month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Let's content creators that are doing dope shit. You know, black businesses that are doing dope things. You know, there's athletes that use their platform, you know, to promote positivity. You know, there's so much other. You know, we don't have to focus on the same 5 characters.
It's okay. Yeah. I feel like they just had a monopoly on Black History Month for years. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing, because they do deserve their respect. 100%. They're, you know, major catalysts to why we are, or to where we are today, right? They played a big part in that, but it's like,
and it's an American context.
It's an American context too. It's an American context that solely focuses on the negative aspects of Black history. I think it's one thing to acknowledge the history, but we also have to celebrate, like, things that are happening right now, you know? And I think a big part of it too is seeing, as a young black kid or as a young ethnic kid, seeing those things. It's you're seeing trauma, right? You're seeing black people painted in a negative light, you know. A lot of times as a kid growing up, you see yourself as a hooper, as someone that's, you know, a drug dealer or a rapper. You know what I'm saying? The representation is not really there for any other avenues. So now that we're talking about shining a light on creatives and figures in the community, I think that's important for these young kids, you know, to finally see themselves as like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. That's a very interesting point, because, you know, far too many times, like that thing you said about, like, the representation, which is, I feel like whenever we talk on the Gifted Gab, it always comes back down to representation. And there's something about seeing yourself, right? Seeing yourself, and you turn on the TV, you know? And that's actually been, like, a lot of the work at the collective, is, like, for black people to see themselves in a different context, because Iranian consciousness has completely erased black people from the narrative, right? And the whole point of that is, like, okay, let's showcase black people, because they've been here, in this lens that people think doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
I won't lie. Before you even mentioned the collective to me, I didn't know that Black Iranians existed.
Nigga, I'm standing in front. I'm here in front of you. I'm standing right here in front of you.
Not in the context of like, and how vast you guys are. Like, you guys are everywhere.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just one pocket here. You guys are everywhere, and I think it's important to shed a light on that. I remember that one comedy show we went to, bro, in Edmonton, bro. What's the comedian's name?
Maximini.
Maximini, right?
Yeah.
You pull it up. You're like, yeah, I'm Iranian. Everyone else is looking around. You're like, please stop this. You speak Farsi?
I remember that.
You have full up conversation with these guys, and these guys are like, oh shit, like this is actually a thing. That's the things that it's good that you're there in that space and occupying and letting them know it's a thing, but it should never have to come to that. You should already know about it. Yeah,
people should already know about it.
Exactly.
Anytime I go back home, I go back to like my mother's town.
Yeah,
there's Black people everywhere.
that's crazy.
And people don't realize, like, people don't really travel in Iran to know that there's Black people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, people in Iran don't, like, it's not like you fly to Edmonton or you go to Vancouver, you go to Calgary. People in Iran don't really do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, so you stay where you're at kind of thing?
Yeah, you have your pocket. So if you never actually travel to, like, the south of Iran, you'll never really know that, like, yo, there's...
Bro, that's like, imagine being in Toronto your whole life, bro. Like, it's like being in one place your whole life.
I think that's so judgmental.
I think it's terrible. You're boxed in.
You're done.
You're cooked. And you don't even know you're cooked.
You don't. It's like... The world is so much bigger than the four corners that you're used to seeing every day.
I mean, we're used to seeing these corners a lot, but hey.
We are used to seeing them. Yeah. We're used to seeing them, and that's okay. But I've found that, in my experience, the people who are the most humble, understanding, critical, are the people who have been able to have the opportunity to leave their immediate surroundings. Think about how many people you know that live in Toronto that have never left Toronto or even never left the neighborhood.
It's sad, yeah.
You know? And I understand why people are like, traveling is such a it's such a like
blessing.
It's a blessing, because when you go somewhere to another country and you see how people live, it's different than what you think living is. Yeah. Right? It challenges your idea of what you think life should be like.
Yeah, and not only that too, it shifts your perspective on appreciation and gratefulness. You know, you go to these other countries, like whenever I go back to Jamaica, I kind of just have this newfound appreciation and then realize that what I'm experiencing right now is nothing, bro, compared to what these. And I hate, don't get me wrong, I hate to compare like circumstances and conditions and trauma, because everyone has their conditions that they got to deal with. Everyone has issues, right? But I think the benefit of traveling is developing that appreciation for your own self. I think also another thing is you become more empathetic, right? That's a big part of it too. When you're stuck inside your own box, your own world, your own city, you tend to lose those traits of empathy, of feeling for another person, understanding where they're coming from. But traveling, like you're seeing these guys. You see everything. You have conversations with these. Yeah. I had a conversation with one of my homies, bro, earlier about this, and he's like, "That's one of the best things about traveling is because it's literally like, you know how we do this podcast thing? You're bringing on different guests, different parts of the world, different
perspectives.
In a sense, that's traveling. You know what I mean? It's traveling in a sense.
You're traveling vicariously through the guests across from you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You get to sit there, you chop it up with them, they tell you the stories, they tell you all this stuff, and that opens up your understanding, because you have someone across from you saying, yo, this is my experience, this is what I've seen, this is da-da-da. And you're like, oh, that's powerful. I never knew that went down, or I didn't know that, or I didn't know this. You're learning. The whole point of what we're doing is that we're constantly learning.
Constantly expanding, bro. I think you do yourself a disservice when you're not curious. I think it all comes down to curiosity, bro. When you lose that curiosity, you're toast. That's with anything. You lose that curiosity. What else? Because I think curiosity is like the foundation to improving, bro. Without curiosity, you don't have the eagerness to explore, to improve. You feel like you already reached the pinnacle, or you're just lazy, one or the other. I think without that, man, and that's what we've been doing here. Bro, we're curious. Oh, What new tech can we get? How can we shoot this better, bro? We spent like we're supposed to shoot this episode an hour ago.
I know.
You know, but we were curious about ways to make this better, and I think that's all it comes down to, bro.
It's that process of like constantly trying to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like,
remember the days we'd go into an episode, bro, and it takes like 4 takes to get one episode?
do not remind me.
I got PTSD from it, bro.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I think so.
And like, the beautiful thing is, I remember when we first started the podcast, we're doing research about, you know, what tips and tricks and things to think about. And I remember one crucial point that it mentioned. And it said most podcasts fail before 7. People stop recording after 7 episodes. Like, that's the number that people never really reach, 7 episodes. And we started out, and we're like, the goal at first was so simple. It's like, let's just get to 7.
Yeah, and you I won't lie to bro. You made that very hard.
Me?
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie, Matthew, you don't even know this, bro. There's one time, bro, I was supposed to be at this, we're supposed to shoot at like, I think it was like 9 a.m. And it was just a strictly audio episode. This is back in the city, and I don't know if you remember this. He's like, yo, we'll be there for 9 a.m. I'll be there, I'll make sure. I'm like, okay, good, I'll meet you there. I get there for 9 a.m. I'm there for maybe an hour and a half. I'm like, yo, where is this guy? I'm calling him, ringing him down like a disturbed ex. You feel me? That wants her fucking bag back. And I'm ringing this. I'm like, yo, where you dealing with, bro? We have a podcast to run. No answer. I'm like, all right, I gotta go home. Mind you, I'm living in Saga these times, bro.
Oh, I remember this.
Where did we shoot it? Was it downtown or no? It was like west.
We were at Palmerston.
Junction. Was it
Palmerston.
Okay, and yeah, cause in
the annex.
Yeah, annex. Yeah. So mind you, yo, this is like a good like 35 to get to there.
Yeah,
from Saga where I'm at.
I slept
heated. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I slept in.
Fam. Yo.
I remember that.
My nigga,
We went back.
the way I wanted to rock your jaw after that shit, I promise you, bro. I'm like, there's no way.
I remember that. That was episode 4.
There's no way.
4 or 5.
We didn't even get, I think it was maybe like 3 or 4, bro. But I remember we were in the booth, and after I got home, I was okay, I'm going to knock out. This guy's not serious. I get a call at like around 9:30. Say, hey, yo, you still there? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm home. What are you dealing with, bro? I'm out of here. He's like, my bad, bro. Just meet me there right now. I'm like, yo, at that point, I'm like, I was seriously judging, like, is this even worth it, bro? And
That was like episode 4, bro.
that was episode 4. That was early on. But fast forward, what, 2 years? 2 years in the making, we're here now. So those are the type of like hurdles we had to.
Yeah, dangerous hurdles. There's a lot more. But the thing was, the goal was just to get to 7.
Yeah.
And when we got to 10, we're like, well, shit, now we got to do video.
Yeah, no, there's no choice.
We got to do video.
YouTube.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when, you know, if you look at our episode, starts at number 10 for video. Audio starts at number 1, but like, that's where we like, because we were able to get to 7, we were able to somewhat figure out a formula that works. It wasn't refined, but for 7 episodes, we're like, okay. Because we were still experimenting. We went from like 3 different studios. We were renting.
Yeah.
We went to a library. We went to freaking M-Tech. We went to all these different
Went
places.
to our university.
Like,
we did a
there's
lot
so
of
many
things,
places. And then we finally were like,
Yeah.
okay, we're catching a stride.
You want to know the beauty in that too? There's value in making mistakes and learning from it. Because I think a
have
lot of times we tend to like look at other people and find out, okay, what can we do here? What can I learn from that? And that's good. But I think sometimes what they go through in their lessons doesn't always apply to us.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not a one size fits all formula. And I think that's important. That's something that we did is making the mistakes, learning from it, and just applying it to ourselves. We didn't look to the next podcast and figure out, okay, what can we do better here? And I think that's some of the best. I think that's the best way to learn, bro. It's just fucking up.
Just do it.
And just making your own mistakes. Just doing it. You know.
Put yourself in a position where you're actively trying to get better, right? You make mistakes. You have to force yourself to learn from the mistakes. And, you know, as you keep doing that, it's the repetitions. You know, after you've done 5, it's not going to be the same as the first one. When you get to 10, it's not going to be the same as the 5th one. When you get to 20, it's not going to be the same as the 10th one. When you get to 50, it's not gonna be like you
It
just keep
shouldn't.
going. You
It
just
shouldn't
keep
be
going.
the same.
It's not. It
It's a
shouldn't be
problem.
the same.
It's a problem if it is the same.
If it's the same, there's something wrong.
You're cooked.
There's something wrong. But you just constantly just keep pushing a little bit more. Okay, and then you catch up. You say, okay, I learned this. Okay, now the thing that used to take me 10 minutes takes me 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Now the thing that takes me 30 minutes takes me 15 minutes. That's how. And you start to just concoct this new formula as you're going. And then by the time you're like, yo, now I feel like we're at the point where it's effortless.
It's seamless, my
effortless
nigga.
now.
It's seamless.
You just keep going. Now you just keep going. Now we found a stride, and now it's the goal. You set the goalpost. This is what you're trying to achieve. This is what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty about this thing is there was no pressure.
There wasn't.
To be successful.
Because that's not the reason we're doing this for too. I think when you set a measure to be successful in anything, I think it takes away from the creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it takes away from the overall product. You kind of feel like, okay, no matter what I do, this has got to hit regardless. And I think that's what stops a lot of creators from putting their work out there, is because they're fearing maybe judgment, they're fearing maybe not work.
Margin of error.
You have to.
You got to give yourself room to fail.
Bro, some of this best artwork, bro, some of the best photos, best productions. A lot of times when you're a creator, you never feel like what you're gonna put out is 100% complete.
No, the market decides.
Exactly. There's got to be a point where you realize, okay, this might not be good enough. It's my best work, but I know I could do a little bit better. But for right now, let me put it out there, see how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all we have to do, bro. Just let it out there.
100%.
Just put it out there. You know what I mean?
We're at that point now, bro. Like, I'm like, for us, it's a tool.
Yeah.
We both have these separate endeavors that we do, and we bring those separate brands to the Gifted Gab, right? And that's why it just works the way it works, is because we're two separate individuals, and we were talking about this yesterday, and we'll get into this, but we're two separate people doing two separate things. We come together, we bring it together, and just have a normal conversation, right? We don't identify by the thing we do. Like, we're not podcasters.
Nah.
We're not content creators. We're not actors.
We're not actors.
We're not hoopers.
We're not students.
We're not students.
Yeah.
We're all those things, but we're none of those things.
Exactly.
The idea that we are not attached to any of the things we do, like, we still maintain our individuality, is what makes your programming so much more, because I was looking at there's a million podcasts out there, bro. There's a
million more
podcasts.
being probably be made next week.
Yeah. And they are all so niche. They are so, like, there's a podcast about freaking fixing laptops or sewing or crime investigative, whatever, all that shit. There's very, very particular niches. And when we're doing this shit, I'm reading online, I'm reading the tips, and I'm like, it says, like, it's good to be niche. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, I'm not an expert in anything. I'm not.
It's
just
the reality of it.
I'm not an expert in anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not an expert in anything like that. We just like to do a bunch of different shit. So why would we sit here and pretend to be experts in something?
Yeah.
And, like,
that we're not.
hone, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't believe in pigeonholing myself.
Yeah, man. I said this before. I don't think as humans we're supposed to be doing one thing our entire life.
No, we're not.
And we said this, like, I think that's a lot of the majority of the reason why people might be depressed or suffering from not knowing what they want to do is because they haven't went out and tried different things. They haven't said, you know what, I'm not liking what I'm doing now. Let me experiment here or experiment there. I think maybe a reason might be stability of it or the fear of being judged. I think those are big issues. And there's honestly this notion that when you try different things, you automatically associate that's your identity.
Mm-hmm.
You go out. If I go out and started playing tennis 4 days a week, people would think I'm a tennis player and I'm trying to be, the next Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'm just playing it because I want to do it. It's cool to me.
I just want to do it.
I just want to play around with it. I want to know that if this doesn't work, at least I tried it. If it does work, then it does work. But how would you know without even trying? I think a lot of times people just don't want to try shit.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I actually get I get upset with my mom.
Yeah.
Because whenever she brags about me to people, she's like, "Oh, my son's a model, my son's an actor, my son's." I say, "Oh, mom, I'm not any of those things. I just like to do things. I enjoy doing different things. That's it.
It's okay.
You know what I'm saying?" And like, I think where we're at right now, I think a lot of our misery as individuals comes from thinking that if we do a thing, we automatically have to be identified with that.
And we have to do it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Right? We're locked in and we signed a max contract.
Yeah. That's not the case. Like, we don't give ourselves enough room to experiment and mess around with something and say, okay, you know what? I tried playing the saxophone. I didn't like it.
You know what's tough though? I see what you're saying, but what if some people just don't have the option to do that? You know, what if they are pigeonholed, and maybe economically, or they have circumstances that just don't allow them to explore? Because that's the thing too, bro.
I have this conversation. I've had this argument, and maybe this is ignorant to say, but if you don't...
Well, let me stop you there. Anytime someone starts a sentence with maybe this is ignorant to say, is some ignorant shit, but...
Because I know how, like, economic circumstances can pigeonhole you into something.
Yeah.
And you get caught in this vicious cycle of just surviving. But that's the cycle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you break that cycle?
There's a lot of ways, yeah.
You have to, like, if you're stuck in a cycle for economic reasons and you have to just do this, this, and this to survive, then you're pigeonholed into doing that.
But the thing is, when you're stuck in that cycle, you're not even worried about happiness, bro. You're worried about survival. You're worried about where your next meal is going to come from. So that's not even on the front of their mind.
It's not.
Right?
It's not. But it's a cycle.
Yeah.
So eventually, the only way to break out of that cycle is to break out of it, which is easier said than done. But it's like, if you don't, and I think it has to get to the point where a person becomes fed up.
Yeah, with what they do. Yeah.
You have to literally
sick.
become fed up with the cycle, with the same day over and over again, and like, maybe you've been doing it and you have to do it and you've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah.
But you realize, like, yo, I can't keep doing this because it's not taking me anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have to literally be so fed up that you're willing to do something so drastic to change.
Take a risk. To bet on yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
It comes down to that.
Yeah, I think we've been saying it's the comfort. Maybe sometimes people can get comfortable with where they're at. And it's not to say that's a bad thing. You know, sometimes being comfortable where you're at is an appreciation for where you're at. You know, appreciation goes a long way.
100%.
It's good, but I think when it gets to a point where you're comfortable, almost too comfortable, that's where it becomes an issue. Comfort's a fine line. It's an extremely fine line, right? You lean too much on one side, it could be detrimental. You lean too much on the other side, it could be detrimental. But
there's the zone and there's a comfort zone. 2 different places. Your zone is like this perfect little window where, like, you're not challenging yourself too much, but you're not bored.
You're not bored, yeah.
You know, the thing you're doing is not too easy.
Are you still buying your carpets from the same place you buy your fruits? Are you still buying your carpets from the same place you buy your underwear? Shame on you. Treat your own with some respect. Come shop with me at Kashan Persian Rugs. What's that you said? You can't afford one. Nonsense. You can come in store right now and walk out with the rug with our new Buy Now, Pay Later program. That's right. Buy now, pay later. Come shop with us at Kashan Persian Rugs.
something yesterday, man.
This guy is deadly with that, bro.
No, but you know, I feel like it comes to a point where you have to be fed up.
Yeah.
You gotta be fed up, and it's the same for relationships. It's the same for your workplace. It's the same for everything in life. Like, you'll just keep going through the motions unless you're just like, yo, I'm tired of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're tired of it, you'll break the cycle, and that breaking that cycle will be something so drastic that isn't really rational, because I don't think that success or happiness comes from rationale.
No.
I don't think that there's a metric to measure how, like, sound this idea is.
Bro, some of the greatest inventions in this world were irrational, were unrealistic.
Yeah.
Who would have thought you could transfer 300 people in a box across the sky, 10,000 feet up in the air? You know what I mean? Like, that idea 50 to 100 years ago was insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These things, I think you have to be irrational. We talked about this too. You can't be. There's no such thing as balance when you're trying to achieve goals.
There's
bro.
none. There's no balance.
And I used to have this idea where, like, you need balance because it's the only way you can progress. You know, balance, yin yang, that type of thing. But when you're really dialed in and want something, you're gonna put all your eggs in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
If that basket falls, the eggs crush. All right, it is what it is. But you knew that at the end of the day, you gave that your all.
Mm-hmm.
There was never, okay, I'll give that 25%. I'll give my social like 30. I'll give, you know, my health 20. You know, there's none of that.
Doesn't work.
It's literally like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no balance, and it took me a while to really come to that conclusion. I won't even lie to you, bro. And I'm at a point now where I don't have balance. I'll be real with you. I don't have any type of, like. It's tough. It's very tough because I find sometimes I'm spiraling out of control. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm loving the results that are coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. It's toxic.
We were saying this yesterday.
Yeah,
Hustle culture.
It's toxic, but I think it's necessary toxicity, bro. You know, some of the best in the business of what they do are toxic workaholics.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really agree with the right now we're seeing, like, a lot of people say that, you know, hustle culture is very toxic, and there's a lot of negativity around a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we're seeing that we looked at that were really conventional, like working 40 hours a week, you know, and like people will sit there and say, yo, you shouldn't work a 9 to 5. Okay, cool, whatever, but if you like what you're doing, work 90 hours a week. You know, it doesn't feel like work if you like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, working a 90-hour week to someone that does 40 hours a week at a job they don't like, might sound like, like that's insane. It's actually not. You know, like, I don't think people realize that, like, hustle culture is only hustle culture if you don't like what you're doing.
Yeah, I think. No, I agree on that completely. I think another thing with hustle culture too is that the goalpost often moves a lot. And you know what I mean by that is oftentimes, like, for example, I'll say, like, sleeping patterns. Hustle culture deems you as lazy if you go to bed past 10 p.m. and wake up at whatever 12. You know what I mean?
I don't believe in that.
But why is that lazy? But the guy that goes to bed at 8 p.m. and wakes up at 5 isn't. Right, this is a guy that's going to bed extremely, extremely early. You're still getting the same amount of sleep. The guy that goes to bed at 12 a.m. wakes up at whatever 10 or 8. He's still getting those hours of productive work in the nighttime. But society loves to look at that early riser and the 8 p.m. sleeper as, like, the more productive working guy. You know, and I never understood that because at the end of the day, they're still getting the same workload.
Well, it doesn't matter what time you go to bed at. It doesn't matter what time you wake up at.
It's
None of that
weird,
shit
bro.
matters. All that matters is when you're awake, what do you do?
It's really that simple.
Literally, what do you do? When you're awake, when you're conscious and you're able to make decisions and all that shit,
bro.
What do you do? That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if you wake up at fucking noon. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you wake up at noon and you go for 12 hours and you work on whatever it is that you need to work on. You get everything done.
Bro, I lived in that environment, bro. My bro was exactly like that. You know, society would look at this guy like, yo, he's lazy, but he's clocked in from afternoon till late nights, clocking in hours.
That's why his M works.
You feel me? Like, but that's not even just him. I feel like a lot of creators are like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not stuck to this rigid, I'm gonna knock out at 7 p.m., wake up at 4. It's stupid.
It doesn't work like that. Sometimes the thing you're working on demands that you have to stay up to 5.
And that's what I was saying before. Not everyone's formula is the same. It's about learning from what you went through and say, okay, I can adjust this here. But
I was saying this to my brother, actually, because we were talking about just like entrepreneurship and the store and stuff like that. And I told him that, listen, just because your store closes at 9 p.m. doesn't mean your job is finished. You know? It doesn't mean that you go home and your work isn't on your mind. Maybe it's good to, you know, to have that delineation between work and home. I understand that. But sometimes you shut the lights off and close the door, there's some shit that you were supposed to get done today that you didn't get done. You know? And I know the whole self-care thing, and like, yeah, I get that. I understand that, and I'm all for that.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. But
We'll
at the end of the day, when you're in a world where your actions have consequences for the things that you're embarking on, shit needs to get done. You can't just say, I'll do this tomorrow.
It's non-negotiable.
When you can't do that. It's non-negotiable. And that's why I told my bro, I'm like, you know, for me, there's a lot of things in my day that are non-negotiables, that they need to get done, you know, no matter what. And if I have to stay extra, if I have to stay at my office until midnight to get it done, then that's what needs to get done, you know. And like, someone will look at me like, no, that's toxic, like that's hustle culture. It's not. It's
called accountability and responsibility.
Yeah, job's not finished.
Job's not
finished. You know?
Yeah.
Is the job finished? Is the job finished?
Yeah.
Job's not finished. You know, so like when it came to like creating and stuff, I said, okay, well, this is the best way to like do what you want to do and have complete control over how it's done, when you do it, and all that shit. Like, I think the one thing my pops instilled in me, I said, you want to be successful in whatever it is you do, you need one thing. It's not drive, it's not focus, it's not money, it's not vision, it's flexibility. Are you flexible? If you need to stay an extra 4 hours to get a job done, do you have that flexibility to do that? You know, if you need to take time off to go and do another job, do you have the flexibility to do that?
Yeah.
If you have to go tomorrow and you get a job tomorrow and they say, hey, we need you for this and you need to be here at this time, do you have the flexibility to hop on the plane and go to that place to get that job done?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing in business and like in entrepreneurship, because you think about the pandemic and what it showed, and we talked about it before. A lot of businesses that were on the fringe failed or got bailed out or whatever. When you're on the fringe, you don't have any flexibility.
None. You're cooked.
You're done.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're rigid.
But if you have some money saved, if you have income over here, if you have this in place, you know, if you have tasks delegated, those things that you implement into whatever it is that you do give you flexibility.
Yeah.
Even in your relationship.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Flexibility.
Flexibility is the key to anything, bro.
Flexibility.
Relationships, your friendships, work.
Yeah.
You want to be in environments and with people that are flexible, not only for you, but for themselves too. I think without flexibility, you feel kind of cornered. You feel restricted. You know, lagged down by weight because you can't do things that you always want to do. I think it's also it's like survival of the fittest, bro.
It is survival of the fittest. And also, one thing about flexibility that correlates with it is living below your means. When you live below your means, you're flexible. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a very high expense life,
yeah,
you know, if your expenses are $8,000 a month and you need $8,000 a month to cover that, you know what I'm saying? And something happens and your income is cut in half, you know, you've killed your flexibility because you can't cover this $8,000 in expenses.
Yeah, living below your means is tough though, bro. I'll be honest. It's
hard.
tough because a lot of times people have the tendency when they get pay raises, all their other expenses increase too. I think it takes a certain amount of like humility and understanding of yourself to know that you don't need that. I seen a stat where it talked about where happiness comes from people. And sometimes we'll buy goods, we'll buy clothes. I do it all the time, bro. I used to do it. And
I still do.
I've been, ever since my new situation, I can't, So I kind of have to taper down on those things. And I realize, bro, I won't lie. I do most of my shopping at like 2 a.m. Sometimes I'm under the influence.
Oh, there you go.
It's tragic.
That's what Amazon gets most of their sales.
It's 2 a.m.? Or under the influence? Drunk people.
Yeah, one click.
That's how it feels though, because I don't. It's weird because I'm on my phone. I'll go on social media. First thing I'll see is a shop page, or I'll go on my favorite websites, and I'm like, you know what? I can do that right now. That looks good.
That's why marketing works.
It works amazingly well.
Marketing works.
Yeah, but I say all that to say, like, I think it's important to know your own. You have to be self-aware of how to spend, what to spend on, and just knowing your habits, bro. I had to like really look back on myself and realize that I didn't need most of the shit that I wanted. And keyword wanted, I didn't need it.
Wants and needs, man.
You know what I mean? I think when I say people, I mean I had to do this for myself. I had to separate the wants and needs because it was one blurry category for a lot of my life. But yeah, man, I think it's tough to. I think that's one of the biggest challenges our generation faces is living below your means. A lot of us, we see a lot.
We see a lot, man.
We see a lot.
Well, social media makes us think that we're always missing out.
Always missing out
on something.
And that everything's attainable, which it is, but...
It is attainable.
Everything is attainable, but do we need to attain it right now? At the cost of what? You know what I mean?
Peace, freedom, flexibility.
Yeah.
You know what? This is one thing I've learned, man. Like, if there's anything I've learned is that your journey's only yours. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody has answers for your path.
I don't think anyone knows what's going on, bro.
No, nobody knows.
I think a lot of people act like they know what's going on. No one knows what's going on.
Bro, a wise man once said that if you act like you know what you're doing, nobody asks you questions.
No one.
And that's how I just move like that. I really move like I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm soaking everything in.
And that's okay, yeah.
I make sure that I carry myself like I know what I'm doing. I don't know shit.
Yeah. I think when we talk about balance, I think for me, I like to have a balance with that. I love to know that I'm in charge and I know what I'm doing, but I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know the answer to that or that. You know what I mean? I think it will make myself look more like a jackass
when someone
blows up. I'm like, yeah, let me go back to the drawing board. I'll get back to you, type thing. Like it's. I'd rather just say, and that's a big reason why we do this podcast, bro. Is because we don't know everything.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we brought an astrologer on. You remember that?
Shout out Tracy.
Shout out Tracy. Like I don't know the answers. I still don't even know if that's real. But again, it's
the willingness to learn.
The willingness to learn and to acknowledge that you don't know it.
Just that's all it is, and that's where I'm curious. I'm just curious. I'm genuinely just curious. Tell me about astrology. Tell me about the stock market. Tell me about crypto. Tell me about
NFTs. You know about NFTs, bro?
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to learn about that, bro.
I'm dabbling.
We gotta bring an NFT specialist on this.
We had Jamel on. He broke it down a little bit for us.
He has NFTs?
Yeah, he made a couple, and I'm a fan of NFTs.
Yeah. It's a non-fungible token. From my knowledge, it's something that you have a piece in a pie essentially that no one else can get, and you have access to other, I guess, incentives. A part of it, like maybe
it's basically just like the blockchain doesn't lie, so it makes whatever it is that you have.
Yeah,
it's verified that you have it. You know, this is like a limited collector's edition that this person has and nobody else has it. And with that, you can put contracts in it and make it have other incentives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It will actually eliminate the need for contracts for creators.
Bro, we're in a weird time right now, bro.
No, I think it's a great time to live in right now.
It's great, but it's weird.
I think
like when we're getting to a point where Web3 or virtual reality will become more important than reality itself.
It's getting there. Metaverse.
It's getting there. Yo, I was in Ottawa the other day, and I saw like it was like I was on a main road and like the shop had Meta, like the logo for Meta and the Web3 on it, like just on the road. It was the craziest thing I saw.
Facebook,
First time
man.
I saw it, yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's interesting, but that shit will never matter to me more than real life.
I think we're heading there though, bro. Cause it's the same. We see it all every time on social media, bro. A lot of times people value the social media more than realize their experiences on there matter more than their experiences here. This face-to-face shit doesn't matter to a lot of people, bro.
That's crazy to me.
Going to a party. How many times you go to a party, people are on the wall like just like this, tweeting, "Yo, this party's whack" or "This party's sick."
Yeah, because you're looking down at your phone, jackass.
That's what I'm saying, though,
man,
bro.
I don't know. I don't think I can ever. Bro, like, we came up in this technology shit, you know? And, like, because we've seen it, we've watched it develop. I can't see myself so entrenched in it because it's like I remember life without it.
Yeah,
I remember.
We were in a special generation.
Our
bro.
generation's special, bro.
We had to be back before the street lights were on.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
I was outside.
But we also had BBM and
Yeah.
iMessage.
Yeah, a lot of these kids, they weren't outside.
Hey, we're not outside.
I was outside.
Not outside, my nigga. I have my bruises. You know when someone's outside, man.
You know. And that's why I'm like, I can't really wrap my head around the whole virtual reality thing. I barely play PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember. Yo, you were abusing it during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. 3 weeks straight.
Oh, it's terrible.
Terrible. I got over it quick.
My Call of Duty was looking neat too, bro.
Please.
KDR was special. Shout out to Black Ops. Anyways, yeah. No, it was Warzone. I'm tripping.
It was Warzone.
Yeah, Warzone.
But I don't know, man. I just think that this whole social media, all this you know, YouTube, Google, all this shit, as much information and everything that's on there, none of the shit is real. How many of you people are really who you say you are in real life? When, like, if I bump into you on the street, remove the numbers, remove the likes, remove the followers, remove the check marks, remove all that shit. Are you who you think that you are away from the net? And a lot of people aren't. A lot of these people are bozos. A lot of these people
they're Yo, I'm telling you. I had this convo with my guy the other day, bro. A lot of these guys are losers. It's crazy. I don't know.
And I don't, like, I get it that, like, you want to manifest this image and portray yourself to be. I understand that. But in real life, there's a person sitting across from you that can't do nothing for you. Are you treating that person with respect, or are you treating them like someone that's disposable to you? And that's what I judge people on.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the people that can't do nothing for you in real life?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the shopping cart analogy. I don't know if you heard of that one, where you go to the grocery store, you see a shopping cart. Putting the shopping cart back will do no good for you. It doesn't benefit you in any way, but it doesn't hurt you at all as well. But it shows it's a measure of, like, how humane you are, I guess you can call it. But yeah, man, I think, bro, social media is tricky because it's the time we're in now where it's so valuable. You need a social media presence, bro, to really, in my opinion, succeed in this creator age.
In a creator age,
you need it, and that's why I think we see a lot of people value it more. We see a lot of people, you know, put more of their work into this presence that they're portraying as opposed to themselves as a person in real life. That's why a lot of people are awkward.
Bro,
Some
a lot
can't
of
hold
people
a
don't do the
conversation.
work.
Some don't know how to connect or listen. Listening is a skill. You don't get
that.
You don't get that by tweeting 30 times a day.
No, man. I don't know, man. The pandemic made me a lot more introverted.
Nah, facts.
And I'm at a point now where I don't really care about what happens online. For us, you know, at least for me, I look at it like, this is the internet. This is where we can use the tools that we have. Okay, we Gifted Gab's out there. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's some pictures of what's going on over here. Here's the video content. Here are the projects. That's the portfolio, you know, and, like, do with it as you wish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside of that, I don't know, man. I just feel like people have gotten lost in a bunch of shit that's not real.
Lost in the sauce.
Yeah, lost in the sauce. And
so the thing is that's the thing, man. Is real always? I think real is losing its worth if that makes sense.
Mm.
Real is not as respected as it is today. A lot of people love the fakeness. A lot of people love the filters. A lot of people love portray. The thing with my boy Trey said it best, man. The problem with social media is, well, first of all, the good thing about social media is you can be anyone you want to be.
Mm.
The bad thing about social media is you can be anyone you want to be, right? So there's we deal with that dilemma there. It's tough, man.
Oh, it's easy to just be you. It's literally easy to just be you.
Is it?
Yeah,
You think it's easy?
absolutely.
I don't think it's easy, bro.
Why?
Because people, listen, you know how many influences people suffer from, bro?
Yeah, don't overthink it. Don't overthink
Bro,
it.
Overthinking is the name of our generation.
Not mine. I don't overthink anything. I don't overthink anything.
I think you're one of the most nonchalant guys I know.
Yeah, because
And I'm a nonchalant. This is coming from a nonchalant guy.
Because it's
Like-
it's easy to just, bro. It's easy to be yourself. It's actually very easy to be yourself.
The thing is, bro, you have to account for peer pressure. You have to account for people not knowing themselves, not knowing their identity. You know, there's a lot of things like that, and it's tough. It's tough to say that.
Are you tired of the running around for a specific hair product, for a specific type of hair? Are you tired of overpaying for services like weave and extensions? Well, are you in the know of Western Canada's best kept secret? Afro Era in North Edmonton is now open and operating right at Londonderry Mall. Come shop all things black, including hair care, beauty products and accessories, and hair itself. Now accepting online orders as well as walk-ins for braids, weave, and more. There's no more running around to find the right products and services. Your hair is a statement, so treat it like one. Visit us in-store or shop with us online at afroera.ca.
It is.
But we're in a weird time, man. And I think that, I think we're coming to an age where people are starting to realize their full potential, which is a beautiful thing for the direction of the world, if the world lasts that long. But, individuals are starting to realize that, I have something to offer the world.
Yeah.
I have something to offer the world, and I just need to find a vehicle to be able to
Put that offering
put
in.
that out there for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that if you have some sort of gift or talent or something that you're good at or that you like, and you hold on to it, that's selfish. Because you might be able to change your life. You might be able to change your family's life. You might be able to change, inspire people through this thing that you are scared to pursue.
Yeah. I think it might be selfish, but I also think people just might be scared to just do it, bro, to just take that risk. I think it goes back into what we were saying, like just to try different things. Literally, you don't know what you're gifted at. Maybe, and some people are lucky enough to find that out when they're at the age of 10, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Matthew McConaughey. Like these guys knew what they wanted to do from young, dime a dozen. But again, as other people, sometimes you don't have the opportunities to figure that out, or even the will or the curiosity to figure that out. I think that's all it comes down to, bro. Just try different things, man. If there's one thing I want people to get from this episode, is to just try something new.
You should get that from this whole podcast, because that's all we did.
That's all we do.
Just let's just try something new.
Let's try some shit.
Let's do this podcast.
People will have something to say if you try something new or don't, bro. Regardless, people are gonna talk. You're gonna say something. Could be positive, could be negative, but people will have something to say regardless. You might as well do what you want to do, or do what you don't think you're good at, because maybe you are good at it.
We weren't good at this shit. We were not good at this shit.
Terrible.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
It's awful.
And maybe 5 years down the line, we'll look at these episodes and be like, yo, we were not good at this shit. But that's the curiosity. We keep on building. We keep on improving, bro.
It's just that, in an instantaneous society, microwave society, everybody wants everything like that.
Yeah.
Nobody was willing to respect the process. And what's made it easy for us is that there's no expectations.
There's no expectations. And we're not comparing ourselves to other people.
Yeah.
I think that's a big
Nobody's
part of it.
wavy. I always I used to always watch Joe Rogan. I think he's the bar when it comes to podcasting.
I still do, yeah.
And I always watch him, and as good as he is at what he does, I watch him like, there's no way this guy's wavier than me.
Nah, real shit.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so much more wavier than Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I like, he's fantastic conversationalist. I think he's brilliant. I think he's genius. I think he's good at what he does.
But in terms of their sauce, in terms of just general,
This guy is not more interesting than me. That's how I look at it. And that's the only guy I look at, and I'm like, I can do what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only person I always ever look at, and I'm like, he's sitting across from people and having conversations with people.
To me, like you said, he's the bar, bro. He's like the MJ of this podcast thing. So I think when it comes to comparison, I don't like to compare to podcasts, but I think it's good to kind of maybe use them as references.
Yeah, muses.
You know, muses.
Yeah.
I admire a guy like Joe, man. I admire a guy like him, bro. His ability to adapt, his conversational skills, his dialogue between each guest is something that I've never seen before. Conversation is an art, bro.
It's an art.
You have to. You never know what you're gonna say the second before, but his ability to figure that out like that on the fly is amazing.
It's beautiful. It's brilliant, and you can tell he studies and all this stuff. And I know that he's getting a lot of heat right now.
A lot of heat, bro.
And
some of it, I won't lie. There's a portion of it I think that is deserved.
I'm very disappointed about the whole thing with the N-word.
Yeah, as a black man, yeah, for sure.
But I don't think he's racist.
No,
his daughter, I think, is black. One of his daughters.
I didn't even know that.
His stepdaughter or something like that.
So I don't. Yeah, let's not do that card though. Let's not do like I have a friend that's black. Like we're not doing.
No. But that's what I'm saying is that I don't think what he was doing, and I'm not in his head, but I don't think he meant any malice. Was he wrong? 100% he was wrong. Mm-hmm. He was 100%. He shouldn't have been using the word. I don't care about the context he was using. Should have been done.
Yeah. Period.
But I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's malicious, he's racist, because we've seen him
in different lights. Yeah.
Even though he'll sit there with a white supremacist and have a conversation the same way he'll sit there with, Dave Chappelle or
Jamie
Freeway
Foxx.
Ricky Ross or Jamie. Like, he'll sit with these people, and to sit there and say, well, this guy doesn't like black people.
I think it's ignorant and arrogant.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these comments are coming from people that don't watch his episodes.
Yeah. But I also think he was out of pocket for what he said.
100%. There's no, you can't give a guy a pass for that, right?
No.
I think a lot of the clips, again, they don't need context. You shouldn't be saying these in the first place. But he did come out with a video that kind of put some context to everything all together, and it made sense. The one thing, I won't even lie, bro, the one thing that I can't get over though is the monkey comment, bro.
Yeah, the Planet.
He made a comment of Planet of the Apes, and he said like, "Yeah, I was just trying to be entertaining. I was just trying to, be entertaining for my guests." And that's the one that I'm like, I can't. Mm-hmm. That's tough for me, bro.
But here's the thing, man. The timing of it is like
very, very.
It's like right after the whole Spotify Neil Young shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on here.
Yeah.
He's a very powerful guy because of his reach and his influence. But I don't believe in censoring anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't think anybody deserves to be censored, because it's a very dangerous precedent you set when you start removing people's freedom of speech.
Especially in a democracy.
Yeah, and like, we have to put responsibility on the individual that chooses to listen to the information. I don't care what the information is. I don't care who's listening to it. The responsibility should be on the person to be critically thinking enough to say, is this what I'm listening to true? I should probably go and fact check this or look this up myself.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I don't think that people should be pulled for misinformation, censorship, hate speech. I'd say maybe I agree with that, but it's just a slippery slope. Like, the way they did Donald Trump to me, I think it's a very dangerous. You're setting a very dangerous precedent.
Bro, people don't know Donald Trump actually he wanted to create a program to create new Black Wall Streets, bro. I think it was like he wanted to invest $400 million, if my numbers are correct, into creating new Black Wall Streets. But people love to label him as a racist, as a bigot. And I know we did that in previous episodes, but now we have Joe Biden that's talking about putting crack pipes in the street to level the playing field, bro.
I can't make this shit up.
I can't make this shit up either, bro. But people just love to look at the media and digest it for what it is and think, okay, it's okay. And this whole time, I'm like, bro, we have to. I might be going on a rant here, but we have to wake up, man. There's a lot of shit that we can't always take shit for face value, bro. You know, I think what's happening with Joe Rogan now too, like you're saying, it's suspect. First, he's attacked for misinformation. Okay, we can't get him there. All right, what other angle can we get? We could look at some episodes from 10 plus years ago, which again is inexcusable. It's not acceptable.
I'm not saying it's acceptable.
Definitely not. It's foul. But let's attack him here. Let's see how we can take him off. Because you have a guy with this much power. He has the culture in a chokehold, bro.
He does.
Literally,
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous, and his platform is decentralized.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't answer to anyone except maybe Spotify, and he's his own boss. So when you have a guy that can affect society like that doesn't answer to governments or institutions, bro, these institutions are looking at that as a problem.
Hey, man,
How can we attack him?
Kanye said it, man. No one man should have
Bro,
all that power.
I seen some the other day, man. I think him and Musk should start a new platform, bro. I think those are the guys right there, bro. I think that'll be genius.
It's a very, very, very slippery slope, man. And it's like, where are we headed with this stuff, man? You know, because I look at it like podcasting is a decentralized media form, okay? If somebody's willing to just take down Joe Rogan,
shit, they could take us down.
they can take us down.
Shit.
You know, and then it's like the bar. What's the standard? There is no standard. There is no. The whole point of this medium is that there's no regulation.
Yeah.
That's why it's so decentralized. That's why it's become what it's become. It's allowed people to come in with no barrier to access. Because before, if somebody wanted to do what Joe Rogan was doing, they needed to have a TV deal or a record deal or some sort of deal to put them in front of the masses. But no, he came in with his following, said, I'm going to do this, and it's extraordinary what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah, and it's extraordinary to see where he's come from too, bro. From the episodes he had before till now, it's an amazing feat. It's an amazing feat. It's night and day. And I think we have to take into account was his audience was different back then compared to now.
It's changed.
It's completely changed, bro. But again, I'm not saying this to excuse him, bro. What he did, he has to take accountability for that. It's some very foul shit, but I think we also have to look at the agenda that's being at play. Like, this is not some random coincidence. At least I think. This is not a coincidence. You're going to attack him for misinformation one day, then racism the next. Like, where's this? What's the motive behind this right now?
I'm just tired of, like, people making things black and white.
It's not, bro. And canceling people.
Life is a gray area.
I think it's a problem, too, when people don't allow other people to accept their mistakes and grow. Like, they're that same exact person from 10 years ago.
I don't believe in cancel culture. I think cancel culture is stupid.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, like, we're adults. We're adults. We're adults. We don't need somebody policing how we consume content.
We don't need Big Brother. We
should be responsible enough to say, yo, I'm watching this. This probably isn't fucking accurate. Maybe I should not watch it. Like, where is that individual responsibility? We've thrown that out the window. We've thrown out accountability. We've thrown out all this shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, where are we going? Where are we going if we have to watch? And they're watching us, of course. They keep track. They know everything about us.
Of course.
But what is the direction we're heading in if everything we do needs to be policed to the point that we can't govern ourselves accordingly?
Yeah, so that's under the assumption that people are able to govern themselves or to make their own decisions. A lot of people need other outside sources to make their own decisions.
Bro, we're here talking about fat phobia.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know? Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that, like there's things that we have to just say, okay, listen. People are grown enough to make their own decisions of the things they want to do, the things they want to consume, the things they want to watch. We remove that responsibility from people, then it's going to get to the point where, like, someone will smoke somebody, and they'll be like, well, no, you know, like, my conditions and this led to me murdering this person.
I got fired from work, so I felt like I was entitled to do that.
Do you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line? There's no line anymore.
There's no line. It's a blurred line. It's blurred.
What used to be, you know, a solid line.
Yeah.
Has turned into a gray area.
Exactly.
But is also, like,
black and white too.
Black and white is. It's crazy.
It's very crazy. Yeah.
I don't know how to explain
intersection.
it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what direction we're going into. To, like, in terms of just kids too. We think about the pandemic and like how this is going to affect the kids that were in the schools these last 2-3 years.
Yeah. I think they're getting hit the hardest, bro. And that's like for me, not missing my senior year in school. That's it sucks, obviously, but it's something I could live with. I've developed a lot of my life to know kind of right from wrong, and I had those experiences as a kid. But as a kid now, to miss out on those experiences, those are some of the funnest times and the most, I guess, say developmental times of your life, right? The bonds you form, the relationships you have, the experiences you have, those are things you'll never get back. And just being in an environment to learn, those are things you can't replicate over a camera, right? I think when you take that away, kids are going to come up with more anxiety, more depression. Shit, we're already seeing rates of depression rising through this pandemic, bro.
We've seen it, man.
I think depression was actually one of the most leading causes of death throughout this pandemic as opposed to COVID, bro. But it's crazy now that we're seeing, and I know I've seen this stat. I'm not just pulling out my ass. Like, I seen it where it said depression and anxiety and suicides were on the rise, or actually accounted for more than COVID deaths itself, which is nuts, bro. But again, we're in a strange time.
Very strange.
How do we
time.
bounce back from this?
I don't know, man. I think that we just have to take the responsibility on ourselves and, curate our lives ourselves and really just be like, it's the critical thinking, man. Like, we need to just look and be able to look at things and analyze them critically, not in the sense that, if this is right or wrong, but I think all information is relative, Everything is relative. Everything is relative to where you are at in your personal life, You're living in a city and there's mask mandates. You don't agree with them. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is the place that you live in. Follow them until the thing. You don't have to believe in shit to just abide by rules. I think that the rules that they've set in during the pandemic, I don't agree with all of them. And I know a lot of people don't.
Well, now it's healthcare workers versus truckers.
It's always somebody.
It's always somebody for some. I think what's the
America versus the Middle East, vaccinated versus unvaccinated,
mask versus no mask,
whites.
blacks versus whites.
You know what I'm saying? It's always something.
Black lives matter versus all lives matter.
You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I'm tired of like the divisiveness and the identity politics and like trying to just tribalism.
You notice that I think it's like maybe every 4 to 5 months there's a new protest.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that during the pandemic. There's been like every maybe I'll say 3 to 4 months. There's something new. And not to say that these causes aren't relevant, but there's always something happening.
No, man. There's just people have lost. They don't have anything else to do anymore.
I think
People don't have anything else to do anymore. Not everybody's gone back to work.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gone back to just doing shit. For me, after I got COVID in 2020, I said, you know what? It's time to go back to real life.
Yeah.
Fuck everything else. 2020, I went back to work. You know what I'm saying? You guys are still in the pandemic.
Yeah, those times. What do you mean, like?
Yeah, I got laid off from my job.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, got COVID. But we were only on lockdown for a month.
Yeah, bro, you guys had it pretty good out here, bro.
We went back to work. Store was open.
Yeah.
I had to come back to work. I'm not gonna sit here and follow the news every day. I had to tell my parents, stop watching the news, because that shit's frying your brain. You think all you guys want to talk about is COVID, bro? Like, people that had COVID. It's done. Get your vaccine, wear your mask, move on with your life.
Bro, I think that's
It's time to move on. It's time to move on.
At what point are we gonna say, enough is enough, and let's just talk about something different, bro? Whenever people like to talk or bring up masks or mandates, I clock out, bro.
I don't want to talk about it.
Clock out. Literally, I'm not here for that.
No, I don't care.
Vaccinated, okay. You're vaccinated, good. If you're not, cool.
I don't care. I'm not going to hold it against you.
Cool.
If you choose to get vaccinated, good for you. If you choose not to get vaccinated, good for you.
Great.
Don't care.
I don't. I lost the patience for it now, bro.
I really don't give a shit.
I don't have the tolerance.
Pay my bills.
It doesn't. It doesn't put gas in my car.
Let's move on.
Gas is $1.58. Yeah. Filthy. It's not putting gas in my car.
I don't even check anymore.
There's no point.
I don't look.
The thing is,
Premium fuel at
yeah,
Cocoa
like,
Eyes,
just press it.
I don't care anymore.
Listen, I authorize my credit card. Just fill out to the full. I don't care.
Just fill me up. You know what I'm saying?
I press no receipt. I don't want to look at that.
I think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
I think we should end this episode on. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Pandemic we're on the tail end of it. You know, politics is in a fucking rut.
When isn't it though?
It's always in a rut. You know what I'm saying? It's just that because we've been at home and stuff like that and not doing what we usually do, people focus more on it. Bro, it's over. Get back to your life. Do that thing that you've been thinking about doing for the last 20 months. And let's move on. The time is now. All right? The time is now. I'm fed up. That's it. I think it's time to move on, man. Enough's enough.
That was very sentimental, bro. I almost broke a cry right
I'm
there.
glad. Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. You want to talk about it after?
No, we'll be good.
You sure?
We'll be good.
You have tissues back there? No, I'm talking shit.
leave
Anyways,
it.
man. Yeah, man. Again, just to wrap it up, bro. It's good we can get back and do this again. I know our 1Ks are still going good. People can expect that, consistently. We here.
Those are automatic.
Those are auto. The clip's loaded. It's been loaded, but it's always good, reconnect again, be in the same room.
It's important, man.
Get back to where it started.
Oh, yeah, it's important.
It's very important.
That's what we're here for.
It's the backbone.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any last words? You guys,
It's gonna be.
I know you guys see the hoodie. I know you guys.
Do you want to promo that right now?
Nah,
Shit,
you know what, just keep it on those.
Yeah. You might have to cut that part out. Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, man. We here. We got a lot of stuff coming. Make sure to tap in with us. Subscribe to our content. thegiftedgab.com. We got a lot more stuff coming. And yeah, I'm just excited for where we're gonna take this, bro. I think we got a lot of strides to make, and we're gonna make it happen, bro. Yeah, it's fun. We're enjoying the process, man.
Just have fun with it. That's it, man. If there's one thing you can take from this episode, whatever it is that you're doing, have fun with it.
Bro, why do you sound like you're about to read a book or something, bro?
I got a nice voice, man. Don't hate on me.
Bro, you talking this one mellow tone voice the whole episode, bro.
Your girl loves it.
That's what she said.
She told me that.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Just like that. We gone.
We out.